Hey everybody, it's me, Scoots, Drew. Uh, so this video coming up here is going to be kind of a Saturday afternoon to evening to night. It's about a little bit after midnight now, I guess Sunday. And for the 4 years I've made the podcast, or almost 4 years, like Saturday afternoons to night and all day Sundays have been the biggest work times, and then other nights during the week and early mornings of how I get the podcast done. So I just put this video together so you can see a little bit of the back behind the scenes of some of the stuff that goes into a production of podcast you might never have seen before, like logging tape or making images or inputting some stuff into CMSs, stuff that has to get done, and then some quality stuff. But most of this is kind of like little bits and pieces you might not know, because I guess one of the things that I struggle to communicate with is across is that the podcast isn't about talent. I mean, maybe there's some skill or magic or anything. Really, the key to the podcast is hard work. Like each episode takes, as they say, 20 to 15 hours just to make the episode. So I just want to give you like a little bit of behind the scenes to see some of the work that goes into it and when it gets done. Because as patrons, this is the value for value. And this is really pieces of how to make a quality podcast if you're thinking about it, and the times you can fit it in. But for me, it's like really important, a lot of this stuff to make. I've looked at it, especially for the past 2 years, of making the best possible podcast we can. And this still isn't even like a level of perfectionism or anything. I think if you looked at most podcasts, especially that try to sound free and easy like ours do, you'll see this is like the minimal amount of work that goes into them. And if you stick around for the whole video, what I'm going to film right after this is part of my bedtime routine, because that's what I'm about to go to bed. So if you stick around through the whole video, I'll give you like 2 minutes of my bedtime routine. All right. Hey, podcast listeners. It's Scoots, and I'm trying to record like about 24 hours or a little bit more of some of what goes into the work of the podcast. So it's Saturday evening right now, or Saturday afternoon. It's like 5 something, and I just got done doing some chores and different things. I'm dog sitting, and I'm doing laundry where I'm dog sitting, and usually I start working on the podcast a little bit earlier on Saturdays, but it's about, like I said, 5 something, and I got to get tomorrow's shows done for the main release and the Patreon. So usually I would start doing that on Saturday at about 2 p.m., but like I said, I'm running a little bit behind. So maybe I'll shoot some other short videos, and then I'll check in when I move to my next task. But what I'm going to be doing is just editing the shows together, converting the files from waves to MP3s, uploading them, inputting all the information that you would see in your podcasting app or on the website, or wherever you consume the podcast. The same thing for the Patreon. So there's a lot of data like entry and writing. I think the art is done, but no, maybe the art isn't done. The art for the main show is done, but maybe not the Patreon show. So do the art, make sure all the files are mixed together. So I'll be getting all that done, and that'll probably take me, I don't know, hopefully when the laundry's done, so hopefully only an hour and a half. I still have to record some tonight, watch Game of Thrones or Star Trek, and do notes, and I still have tons of emails. Any responses that came in on Saturday when I was running errands or stuff, I'd have to try to reply to all that stuff too. So maybe I'll check in with you in a few minutes. I'm trying to do a bunch of short videos and string them together. Hey everybody, so this is just like I talked to you earlier, this is like a Sunday episode that I'm putting together, and this is kind of the final mix in the audio editor I use, so then I would kind of check it. Hey everybody, before the show starts, I want to thank Ken and John from the Mission Log Pod. But there's like, this is like the final mix of like thanking these guys. I recommended the episode, the Feral Tag, this is the ad music and the ad, then this is the intro music, then this is the intro, then this is the second ad mention, then that's the episode part, and then that's so I just mixed all this together, and I'm going to export it as a wave. Then I have to import it into iTunes, then convert it to MP3, then tag the MP3s, and then do the show notes. Let's see. Yeah, let me pause it. Or yeah, maybe I'll do another video when I'm working on that part. Yeah, and then this is Evernote. This is where I start the show notes, but I still have to. So I'm going to take these show notes that are here, and then I have to put them in a lot of different places. Making a podcast involves a lot of data entry and stuff, so I have to put this info into the MP3 tag, which is in the thing. Then I have to upload the MP3 to our main host and input all this information. Then I have to upload it to a backup host. That hosts a show on Spotify and is like an emergency backup. It also puts a show on Spotify. So I have to repeat that process for the backup host. I have to share these notes in a file with Farrell, so Farrell knows everything that's in the episode. We call that our episode guide. Then I have to double check the files that like schedule all of it to be released, and so that's some of the process I'm going to be working on right now. But you don't have to sit here. Hey, this is Drew again. This is a quick one I'm just uploading. This is like uploading it to our main host and just going through the upload process. Then I'm going to listen to it and make sure the file's okay while I upload it to some other places. You might be able to hear a Koa scratching right next to me.
So next week
so you hear me talking. I'm listening to this is what's actually going to be released in our RSS feed. So I listen to this file, and while I'm doing that, I'm also uploading to this, making sure this is our backup host and how it gets to Spotify, so then I have to input here. It's not the most efficient way to do things, but when you back stuff up, this is kind of part of it, and also it's just the way Spotify works. They work with this host. So it has to get uploaded twice, and realistically with the podcast it has to be backed up like this anyway, just in case of emergency. Okay, so now I'm doing the website so this is what will be on the website. It's like I'm still listening to the episode in the background. The episode's not out yet, so the player won't populate till it's out yet, but the player will be down here. Wait, I didn't put the player in. I cut it, but I didn't paste it. So let's see. I want to put it in between the two eSalon spots.
That's right. Fill out your hair questionnaire. eSalon color gets shipped quickly and delivered right to your door with your name on the bottle and instructions on how to get your hair the way you want. And all you have to do is go to eSalon.com/sleep. That's eSalon.com/sleep. And new customers will receive 50% off their first order. That's $10 for your personalized hair color. Get 50% off your first box at eSalon.com/sleep.
This uses UTC time or internet time.
And when you do, let me know so you can vote
the dates and times are different than where I am. So I sometimes have to figure that out on my hands. Actually, it's 24 hours from now, so it'll be July 3rd, 1:04 p.m. I have it hit the website an hour later. UTC time, or close to GMT time. Alright. Okay, Scoots again. I'm still listening to Sunday's file. The actual file is going to be released. Turn it down a little bit. And this is the back end of Patreon. So this is like stuff that's scheduled to be released in Patreon. And I'm going to go in and build out audio episode. I got to put, and then I got to do the input for Sunday's Patreon show, which would be a week ahead for the patrons. So episode 560. But I got to stop recording. I got to dig into the audio editor, make sure that file is ready to be exported. I can't remember if I already did it. And then I'll do the artwork in Canva. Maybe I'll show you that. So I'll be back.
Okay, so this is Scoots again, and I'm just working on. I use this website called Canva, and you can buy pictures for $1, or for TNG I pull screen caps. So I like this one of those two in bed together, looking at each other, and so I'll just make a little album cover. It takes me a little while. It's not something I have to do. Again, it's a process I could cut out of the podcast, but I think it adds a little something having the album covers, and it helps me, like, even visually as a visual learner with organizing.
To try to help.
Like you can see,
so
and just helps me.
Give a few shots and see how it
like
goes.
I have
It
the
doesn't
images
have to work for you.
in my Evernote.
It doesn't work for everybody, but I hope it does.
Yeah, it's just another step in. This is for the. Now I'm working on the Patreon episode.
Work hard.
Okay. Hey, so right now I'm mixing the patron episode. So we have like the patron secret message and the.
Hey patrons, it's me.
It's me.
Scoots, scooting in. Scoot over. Scoots is tucking you in. Scooty, scooty, scoot, scooters. Boot, scoot, booty. That's like your country song. Thanks and good night. Oh wait, also, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and friends beyond the binary. It's time for the podcaster who said stuff to his patrons and then said that. Here, thanks for the support. Hey, you all night tossing.
Okay, so then I still have the episode. So this is the opening, but it doesn't have the episode. The episode's downloading. Something's going on with the place where we store it. So then I'll here put in the episode. Then over here, you can see. Where's my hand? How come my hand's not appearing on camera? Well, you can see here in group 1, those are the thank yous. So when the final episode gets put together, then I'll delete the patron message and redo it. So then I'll save this as well, I can't do it with 2 hands, but you can see other stuff that's in there. All right. Okay, I just want to show you because this is like the episode's now in here. Let's see if I can just scan out here. So this has the whole episode. You can hear the dog, one of the dogs in the dog.
Or I couldn't fall asleep, but I
I'll
could
put
listen
like
to
headphones
it, and
on.
it kept me company in the deep dark nights. So whatever
like maybe
it is,
do a crossfade, but I can't do crossfades one-handed.
I'm glad you're here.
This is the intro.
I work very hard. I yearn and I strive to help you fall asleep. So thanks so much for coming by. All right, here we are. We're talking.
Another important thing to do is listen. Like I listen on speakers when I'm mixing, and I also listen on headphones. Like every episode I listen to, like I've talked about, like at least 2 or 3 times after it's edited before it's released. Usually headphones, computer speakers, and car speakers to check it, but also to listen to the content, and like it's just part of the process. All right. So what am I going to do now? Now this is fully mixed. Maybe I'll do a crossfade, but just hear what it sounds like, or maybe a crossfade at the beginning. But then I'll export it, and like everything's done when it's given to me. Like this has already got the equalization and the compression and everything done, and we all of us use the same plugins. Like we use. Well, I can't so it's kind of proprietary. But so now I'll export this and upload it to Patreon. Schedule the Patreon post for tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then I'll also schedule the Sleep to Strange Patreon version at the same time, just because I'm already working on it. I already have the artwork. Oh, I still have to write up the show notes. The artwork's done, but the show notes aren't done. So I'll write up a quick blurb about it too. Maybe I'll be back. Okay, so you can kind of see like the role that Evernote plays in the podcast is kind of like the main input place. So yeah, I just did the title, this, put the art here. I don't store the art here, but it just helps me. And then when it comes time to release, as opposed to like with data, I'll put the timestamp in. Like this is the Patreon release versus the regular release, like whoever's sponsoring the episode and everything like that. So now I'm going to upload it to Patreon. Okay, so this is the
that's like your
Patreon
country
version's
song.
uploaded
Thanks and
now.
good night.
This is the player
Wait, also, ladies
listening
and
to
gentlemen,
it.
boys and girls, with a Nausicaan.
And
Like
then
Princess
also, I
Nausicaa.
forgot
I
about
don't know if it's the same thing, but
show notes. So that's another thing.
like he loses
I
heart,
just
he laughs
downloaded,
when his feelings are when he's sad about his heart.
I don't know if
from
you've seen the
Cupid,
show
who
notes,
took
but
it,
that's just another thing that
Cupid says, "I'm
comes
from
for the
Nausicaa. We're
patrons.
taking,
So
this is
that file, I link to it,
not
and I
really, but,
include as
and you
attachment.
see
I don't
the
know why I
younger
do that. I think
Picard,
maybe
there's
somebody's
like an
having
actor
trouble
playing a younger
downloading
Picard.
it. So it's a link on
Dashing
Google
is
Drive where it's stored.
H-E-C-K.
Not sure if you can overhear me over that, but so that's it. Then I'll schedule this for $5 or more. Schedule 22nd, and I can't do this, but maybe I can. 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Schedule it. In a perfect world, I used to do this. I used to try to get these done on a 2-week out schedule, but just it's just really hard between and I just had some stuff and then I was on a week out schedule, and I guess that was good because it's finally caught up to me where now it's Saturday night. It's 7 p.m. now, or close to it, and I'm like just trying to get tomorrow's stuff done. But yeah, so that's so it's uploading, and it should at some point it'll switch, and we're all set for tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the what do you call it? The one that comes out. It'll come out. Oh, I didn't check the dates, but yeah. So the one that comes out in a couple weeks. All right. Oh, that was one of the dogs. There's go. I didn't realize this was still playing. Sweetie, come here. Sweetie. Yeah, Sweetie doesn't want to come. All right. Okay, so this is real quick. This is the one. This is like the Sleep to Strange version, which I can't do one hand, but I would put. I can try. No, I can't. Trick. But this is getting scheduled. This is all the way scheduled out for August 2nd at 6 p.m. So I got to change that to 4 p.m. and then fix that, and we'll be ready to go. Patrons, or I guess anybody that's watching this, is this recording? Yeah. Okay. So I just recorded. So I'm not sure the time on Saturday, but so this is the climbing closet. I'm on the outside. This is our preamp. Those are the cords. That is the old curtain. These are shoes. These are clothes. And this is how wide the room is to get through. So these are moving blankets. So this is the climate closet. Microphone, lighting's not so great. The recorder, battery. Yeah, so that's where the recording happens. I just recorded for about an hour. Let me see if I can get in here and get on the camera. Oh, that's a note not to say like as much, and but, and you know, let's see. I'm also dog sitting, so well, I don't think I can turn the camera around. Okay, I'll be right back, I guess. But yeah, this is the recorder. This is the mic. Headphones that I would have over my ears. Lights. Main light. Okay, hold on, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I never know, isn't the camera right there? Okay, so I just recorded for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones will come out for like 3 more weeks, but since the Game of Thrones episodes are longer and I don't have a lot of time to record, I just recorded an opening and a Sir Tommen and Pounce segment for one of the Game of Thrones episodes. I already recorded all of the prayers to the old gods and the new, 7 episodes of prayers. I think I won't get all the Tommen and Pounce episodes done, but I will probably get the openings done. Just because like right now it's Saturday night. I don't always even get an hour and a half to record on Saturday nights. Just depends on how much other stuff I have to get done. And
In a perfect world, if I wasn't working a day job, I would record just during the days on the weekends. I guess that would be the difference. There'd still be work to do on Saturday nights. And Saturday nights aren't as critical to record a whole episode, but to get 3 segments. So I did maybe 4 segments. I did an opening, Tom and Pounce, a teaser like Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls, Friends Beyond the Binary, and the ad part, I recorded that. And maybe I think I recorded a Farrell promo. So then now that I'm done with the recording, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to log all the files that I just recorded. Then I'm going to upload the files that I just recorded. I think some uploads failed yesterday, so I'm going to re-upload those files. So I'll upload all the files. Then I'm going to watch Star Trek for a little while and take notes. I have to do that. I do every single night, like every single night, just like writing. Like I write in the mornings. Just way easier and way higher quality if I take like a length of a segment of Star Trek, and then I can watch that for like 30 minutes, a 7-minute segment, and write. And it's just like way less pressure to do it every single night in segments instead of all together. Then I'm going to try to reply to some emails and see how many emails I can get through. And either if I get through all the emails or I might do emails for too long, then I'll try to get to Facebook and Twitter and the Facebook group. I'll try to check Patreon. It's like I'm trying to be the highest priority. So ideally, if anything new came up on Patreon, I would get to that too. It's so that's the rest of my Saturday. And I ate something between the last time I talked to you and now. So, and I got to check on the dogs. They ate and I took them for a walk. So yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay, so right now I'm logging tape. Let me turn this down. So I'm behind in logging tape, so it's recorded on 6:30. Again, I'm trying to do this with one hand. This is an upcoming episode. Maybe it'll be called Dentist Chair. You can see other stuff that's been recorded. This is the file number. I got to type this in though. So, oh wait, because I'm typing the wrong thing. Now I'm uploading files for the editor. Let's see if it's having trouble with the uploader. So this is like a file for Posty. Tuesday show. It's going to be called Working Titles Dentist Chair. Files are uploading. I'm uploading some other files. Then actually I have to get some other files going here. So let's see. These are all files like for Carl to edit. So yeah, these are all the Game of Thrones folders ready for things. So I can't do it two-handed, but this is a slow upload anyway. So yeah, I gotta upload some stuff into these files. All right, and then it's again, yeah. Then I'm gonna switch to Game of Thrones. Star Trek. Okay, so this is the episode of that I'm about to take notes on. I just wanted to get this picture because this is the whole reason I chose this episode. Was because of this picture in the thing. It is Pulaski with these 2 creatures that kind of look like they're part signs. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I already watched the opening, right, so I'm watching the second, the first act, I guess people would call it, the first segment, and yeah, I'll just be taking notes, so I can't do two things at once. So that probably takes me to watch 6, 7, 8 minute segments, about 30 minutes maybe, sometimes more, sometimes less. Just depends on how much notes and how much I have to pause to try to catch stuff. Yeah.
All right, so as promised, thanks for watching this video. So I'm about to do my bedtime routine. I sit here next to my bed. I have a living room split in half. My bedroom is kind of half the living room. Try not to get, my bed's not made. And so usually I sit here on this little bench I have, and what I do first is, I guess I started like with a gratitude kind of journal idea, but lately I kind of write down things that I'm thankful for and things I'm afraid of or that I avoided during the day, and maybe some other stuff I'm working on. So I'll write down a few things of that. At some point, I'll take 5 minutes to 15 minutes. Right now, it's only around 5 minutes to sit quietly and breathe or meditate, whatever you want to call it. So that'll be another part of my bedtime routine. And then the next part is right now I'm reading this book, The 5 Things We Cannot Change. And I don't know, it's like, I don't know, this is a new thing I've been trying this year. I don't know how I came across that book, but I don't think the book really matters as much as, like, for me, I'm just going to try to read this book a couple times this year, like 1 or 2 pages a night. And I just finished that book, and I've started reading it for the second time. For me, I think consistency and slow growth have been keys to some things. And so I don't know, reading 2 pages of that book about kind of a book about acceptance and increasing your compassion and your listening skills and stuff like that is important. And so I'll see it, like, I don't know if I'll read it 2 times this year or 3 times this year. I don't think I started in January, but I just finished it, reading it 1 or 2 pages a night. And then after that, I'll probably do some recovery 12-step type work. And I don't know, I do this all in different order. Like maybe sometimes I'll end with the breathing. And then after that takes about 30 minutes, all those steps. So, writing or journaling or listing things I'm thankful for and things I'm afraid of or things that I'm avoiding. Then breathing, then reading, and doing some growth-based stuff. For some people, it might be prayer. For some people, it might be meditation. For some people, it might be, sometimes I'll just sit outside and look at the stars. That's another thing I do, or look at the fog. And then after that takes about 30 minutes. Then I'll read fiction for 30 minutes. I'm just about to finish a book, and then I'm going to start reading It by Stephen King, which might not be the best bedtime reading, but it's a book I've been wanting to read. And that's like an hour, and that's usually what it takes me to wind down. Usually in between the meditative type stuff and the reading, I haven't been able to get my phone totally out of the process, so I probably will hop online and see if there's anything critical that came up, like any really serious emails about the podcast or texts or posts or anything I have to address immediately, which could interrupt my sleep. But and then my phone automatically goes to moon mode, I think at 10 or 11, and that's been a real help with the podcast. Otherwise, my phone would buzz all night long with the updates or notifications. So that's my bedtime routine, and I'm pretty consistent about it. When I'm not consistent about it, I don't notice the first few days, but then after a week or 2, I'll notice that my life has kind of started to become unmanageable in some ways, or my temper or moods or stuff. So that's my bedtime routine that I'm about to undertake. Good night. And I'm glad the podcast is part of yours. And that could just be the capper, like if you do this other stuff. Or maybe you won't need the podcast. All right.